On this episode of Lapeef, Let's Talk.
People aren't 100% with who they are or where they are in life, right? So perception is reality. If I allow people to perceive me a certain way and perceive that my lifestyle is a certain way, then it is because that's what I want y'all to know, and that's the image I want you all to get from me. So, I mean,
But
we
what
don't
if
have
somebody trying to tell you the truth?
look, look, everybody ain't a therapist. Now, if you screaming out for help, then you need to go to the right people to get that help.
Welcome to Lapeef. Let's talk. We're moving on to our second topic, which is do people really believe in what they are saying? Do people really believe what they are saying? Me and Anton was talking about this a few days ago, and we decided to make it to a topic. I'm gonna let Anton go ahead and introduce this one.
I think the narrative is a lot of people say a lot of things, right? And I've been on Clubhouse a lot lately, listening to a lot of these conversations and having conversations with people. And people say a lot, right? And I'm wondering, people have these expectations, they have these narratives by which they operate. And a lot of times I hear it from women, to be honest with you. They say a lot of stuff, well, I ain't talking to a guy, this and that, or even from the perspective of women, thinking a certain way, or they really feel as though they are receptive to constructive criticism, even, right? Like, people say, yo, I want to hear it if it's gonna benefit me. But when you really say it, do it really hit? Like, are you really receptive? Do you really believe that? Do you really have these expectations for this upcoming guy that you're thinking is going to play this larger role in your life? Or are you just saying that because it sounds good? Are you using it as a talking point because this is what the narrative that's being perpetuated on social media? And so I'm just wondering, in general, do people really like believe what they saying, or are they just saying that just to sound good?
So I think it's a little bit of both. And when you brought up Clubhouse, like that hit home because I've been in these rooms and everybody is an expert. Like, and I'm not taking away from what people do and their credentials they may have, but what worked for you may not work for me and her and her and her. Like, and everybody is like swearing by the advice they're getting from these people. And I mean, it's in every single room. And so I think people do believe that Kool-Aid that they drink, that they made themselves. And I think we had social media has made this thing of everybody can promote their own brand. So everybody is a brand. So everybody is believing their brand to be the best. And that's what they putting out there. So it's hilarious on that side. As far as relationship wise, I mean, I don't think that's nothing new. I think people want what glitter and what's gold, but don't really necessarily want to work for it or do what's going to be expected of you if you getting all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I do.
Be next. Do people really believe in what they are saying?
I don't know. You wanted to go, Capri?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay.
I'll go after you.
Um. Okay. I don't know. I almost like you had just mentioned about, is that anything new? I kind of don't feel it's anything new. I feel like people always kind of put out this persona who they uh present themselves to be. I truly always feel it's based on action. So I just look at everything like that. I think social media, like you said, has heightened that, where you do see more content out there. But it's like with anything, as an adult, you got to decipher what's real and what's not. I feel like it's easy for people to create this character, that they play, and people, you get a following real quick. I mean, people that basically were no one become rise to the top just based on going viral or saying something that resonates with a couple people, and they get a platform. Back in the day, before social media, it wasn't that easy to get a platform. You have to be in an actual entertainment industry to earn but still maintain that platform. Now it could be a no name next week, and just because something they did really silly, or like I've signed up for Clubhouse, but I haven't went into any of the rooms. And like, hey, people are basically projecting themselves to be something they're not. So I think that people are doing that, but it's like, shame on me for being a follower. You know, I almost don't fault the person who's perpetuating this persona of themselves, but more so the fact that there are so many followers in the world that we live in that I am willing to believe anything that comes out of someone's mouth without fact checking, without doing any verification, or honestly, folks don't got critical thinking skills in order to decipher what's real and what's not. That's the sad part. The sad part is not that person, but the person's followers.
So let me add some context to the conversation before you go, Capri. Let's say, for example, I make a decent amount of money, right? Hypothetically speaking, let's say I make $250,000 a year, and I say, well, because I make this amount of money, I publicly say this, because I make this type of money, it don't matter if I'm ugly or not. It don't matter if I'm short and stupid. It don't matter or whatever. Like, you know, I'm awesome anyway. Do I really believe that? Or am I saying that to either make myself feel better about who I am, or I'm just projecting this because I want other people to like me and I don't necessarily believe this within myself?
I think we live in a society now of likes and comments. It depends on the likes, and it depends on the comments. And as Nick has said, I don't think a lot of people have the critical thinking skill set. So have you ever went and clicked on something and then you looked at the comments and you see there's like 100 comments, right? But at least 100 out of those 100 comments, there's at least 40, 50 people who said the same comment, made the same comment. And it's like, did you even read this article? Did you even go the clickbait? Oh, I see, yeah, I'm going to talk about this, but did you read the article? And then they're making comments on an article that was from 8 years ago. So I think people will believe whatever they want you to believe. I mean, have you ever seen? It's like the friend you have that will take a picture while they're laying in the hospital. Likes and comments. Everything is likes and comments, whether they believe it or not. It's for the general consensus of getting those likes and those comments. Nobody cares about being the best person that they can be. Like you said, if they do something stupid today, they going viral tomorrow. It didn't require any good train of thought. It was just that it was passed along, and just some of the things that I see on video, and I said, they did this on purpose. Nothing is, I would say, not even taboo anymore, but nothing is to the surprise anymore. We no longer censor the things that are being put on the internet, and people just saying the things that they want people to hear. And I think, as Risha said, I think it's a little bit of both. Some people don't believe the stuff that's coming out of their mouth because they know they're going to get the comments and they're going to get the likes.
Hey, Anton, what was that question again? I want to chime in on. What was that question you asked?
Well, no, I had just posed a scenario of a guy that may make a lot of money, right? But he knows he has faults and things, other things in his life, but he says that those things don't matter as much, for example. Or I'll give another example, a girl, right? And she's a high earner, for example, and she feel like she don't need him. I don't need a man, you know what I'm saying? Or nothing like that. Do she really believe that? Or is she just perpetuating this type of behavior because it sounds good, or she want to make herself feel better, or whatever? Is what people really saying a true reflection of how they really feel, or is it something else? Do they really believe that, or are they just projecting this for other reasons?
I don't know. I feel like we live in a society where selling dreams works, man. And some people are great at selling dreams. They're dream sellers. And the thing is, people
selling dreams to themselves, though?
Huh?
I said selling dreams to themselves.
Yeah, they believe, like, what was the term we said? They believe they're, you're drinking the Kool-Aid. They believe their own Kool-Aid. It's like if you continue to do it over and over, you start thinking like, yeah, that is real.
But the
I mean,
question is do they really believe it, or are they just putting it out
I
there
think
for us
over
to
the
believe?
power, it's the power of habits, bro. It's actually a book I was reading a while back about that. It was called The Power of Habits. But the thing is, the more you do something off repetition, we do believe it, whether it's good or bad. Just like we say with cheating, right? Cheating is wrong, but off repetition, we feel like, oh, I'm kind of good at this. I can continue to do it. Same thing with a thief, right? They continue to do it because it's like, hey, conditioning. You conditioning your mind to start thinking that, like, yeah, I can do this, even if it's for wrong. In our mind, we think cause and effect. What's the effect from selling a dream? Hey, if I'm a guy, I get the chick I want, I get the job I want, all that, because the thing is, it's a short-term reward. The thing is, a lot of people don't look long-term, but for short-term gain, people are willing to sell dreams, man, however it may benefit them.
Yeah, but that's kind of toxic. Wouldn't you say that's toxic?
Um,
I mean, think about it. If you selling
I guess you
yourself
would call it toxic. I
if you
mean,
if you selling yourself a dream,
I want to say
and
like deception, though, more.
yeah,
Is like if you consider all that in the same under the same house of terms, but it's deception. But the thing is, we know we have family, friends that are good with deception. They are great in that space. You believe them until you look at it like, but I know you. Some people,
Right.
it's easy to sell dreams to people they really don't have a relationship like that. So that's why they take their show on the road and go sell that dream to new people. But we know friends and family, like, I know you. You can't sell that dream to me. So I'm gonna just go elsewhere. So I think they do believe it over the course of time, but I know that it's typically just for short-term reward.
is it something else? Do you think it's caused from something? Maybe it stems from something else.
Well, insecurity. I mean, people aren't 100% with who they are or where they are in life, right? So perception is reality. If I allow people to perceive me a certain way and perceive that my lifestyle is a certain way, then it is because that's what I want y'all to know, and that's the image I want you all to get from me. So, I mean,
But
we
what if
don't have
somebody trying to tell you the truth?
look, look, everybody ain't a therapist. Now, if you screaming out for help, then you need to go to the right people to get that help. I mean, if somebody's close to you, then obviously they'll tap into you and make sure you're good and see what's up. But we're not like we all got issues. We all need therapists. Like I don't have time to be concerned with not to that degree.
No,
Like
but you know what, Lauricia, to the point you're making that, like, not to say we're all therapists, but going back to when we, I think, use these terms like thought partners, one of the concepts is having a board of directors, right? The thing is, we all have our own board of directors that we go to for
we
certain
do.
things. We need to make sure, I think, individually that we have, and I always say my squad, whoever's part of your squad, those are the people you need to go to also, like, hey, let me run something past you. Guess who I met today? Or guess what I heard from such and such? Those are things that if you feel, going back to critical thinking, in order to make smart judgments and informed decisions, you need to vet that shit. And the thing is, I think, like you said, Capri, people don't even vet the stuff they see online. They just automatically see a few comments because it pop up in their news feed, and then like, oh yeah, that's fact. And then the story from like 10 years ago, it's like, obviously, for one, you didn't even click on the link to read it. You're just basing it on somebody else's opinion, and that's how things snowball. And because of social media, it happens so quickly and so frequently. But it's our normal. It is our normal right now. So I think folks just need to do a better job of really fact checking folks' character.
Hey, Nix and the rest of the people that's on the panel, you mentioned something about your friends or board of directors. What if your friends or your board of directors or your circle is just telling you what you want to hear?
So you gotta be able to. You have to have somebody that you can go to that is not going to be a yes man, right?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody that you know that you typically don't go to because you don't want to hear what they have to say. Then that's the person you have to go to. Now, if you don't want to do that, then again, it's back to what's going on with you. Do you want to change? Like, because nobody else needs to be investing all this time if you don't want to make a change.
I think it's a little difficult for people that are used to making the calls.
I think we
If
need to
if you,
stop making excuses for people. Okay.
I'm not making excuses for people, but I'm just talking off experience and what I've seen. If you're a boss whether it be man or a woman, you're not used to people telling you what you're not used to people telling you how to do the smaller things. I would say smaller things, but certain things in your life. Because you're so used to making those decisions. Like you used to being that leader. So when somebody comes in and they may fact check you or they may tell you a reality that you don't want to hear, it's kind of hard for that person to like digest that.
It's hard to eat that humble pie, but that's what you need to do because you wasn't born no boss, right? You
Yeah,
had
I was
to
about to. I agree with
fall
that.
to
A lot
get
of people
there.
ain't even
Like,
bosses. They out here claiming they
hello,
bosses and they really not. Men
thank
and
you.
women.
So it's just too much. It's just like
It's
That's the
so
sad part.
that term is used so loosely. I mean, I in my line of work, I hire people who have my weaknesses as their strengths. And that affords me to be able to make the mission of my department to where it needs to go. If I was hiring people like me, we probably will only get to a certain point before we are just stagnant. We're not growing as a department, we're growing as a company. And I think people are in the same, it should be used in the same breath, is that if you are not surrounding yourself with people who, I'm not even saying like-minded, but will drive you to grow and think outside of the box that you choose to live in, you're going to be stunted. You're going to be left behind. You're not going to grow. And there are people, look at the person sitting in the White House. You think he got people around him telling him what he shouldn't be doing? No, they're all yes people. They're all telling him what he's going to do. This is why this craziness is even happening in our country. And not to even go into that or bring in politics in this, but there are people who sit at the table who do not um, surround themselves or sit in a circle of people who are going to tell them what it is. And that might be some psychological, mental issues there. It might be a bigger issue there. That's what I'm saying.
So what I'm kind of gathering from everybody is that people need to actually consider and be open to hearing thoughts from other people that's close to them or people that they value, because sometimes you may not be that person that you think you are, or it may not be going the way that you anticipated to be going, right?
Yeah, but people. It's a lot of people. Like Capri, you mentioned about like 45, right? The thing is, it's people who actually believe the lies that they're telling. That's the part that makes this like so just it's more
70
common.
million.
Yeah,
70 million people believe the lies that come out of this fool's mouth. You know what?
and, and it's a lot of people that just they believe they on hype, and it's like I don't know. It's just I don't even know. It's almost like a disease at this
I
point.
mean, but you just gotta separate yourself from them people. You can't help them all. If they don't want to be helped, you can't help them, and that's a lot of energy.
Well, you know what? It goes back to the
Those are
followers,
mental
right?
issues.
Because going back to like we
Right.
talked about the board of directors, the thing is that means that I think we talked about earlier. That means you got a board of directors that's full of followers that's continuing to support the BS. It's like the board of directors is supposed to be a group of people that has diversifying a level of thinking and thoughts and stuff. If you got a bunch of people that lie and sell dreams just like you, oh man, ain't nothing about to change. It's just gonna continue. And we see it all the time. We know who those people are.
Okay.
Some of them might be in the group. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that, but I mean, it's the truth. Let's be honest. I mean, like, it's people out there in the world that just folks got to have their own. Like, I forget somebody had mentioned in the comment when the group and stuff was talking about like being like a hood nigga, right? Like, the thing is, some people really aren't, but they're trying to live this lifestyle because they think that that's what people want. And the thing is we see it with rappers. That's mainly black men that try to live up to this lifestyle that really they're not. They get more cases once they become a rapper versus prior to. So the thing is, if these are the people that some folks are aspiring to be, hey, folks need to just, reset their goals. It's so many layers to what's wrong with that issue of people falsifying who they are. But the thing is, this is nothing new.
Okay. All right, y'all. I think we're going to table this one here.